All right, guys, welcome back to ReConnected. It's me, Lewis, joined with Josh.
Yeah, I'm here too.
Was that enough like Matt?
Yeah, that was quite like Matt.
Okay, I'd like to mention this episode is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Even with 3 views, we can get a sponsor.
It's okay. Disclaimer: it's not. But
No, it's not.
But
I'd like to be.
Yeah, seems like a fun game. Although we're not sponsored, so it's terrible.
I think it is actually. No, wait, hang on. I have no opinions on Raid.
Yeah, that's a good stance.
It's my stance. So as you can tell, this is another DisConnected episode. DisConnected 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That's going to be the name.
The Christmas holidays, so Matt's not here, and he may never be here again. Who knows?
Yeah.
So
Father Christmas took him away.
So I thought we'd do another gaming episode.
Yeah.
And by another, I mean 7 in a row?
Yeah, pretty much. We must have talked about gaming in every single episode.
Oh, why would we not? It's a riveting topic.
I think so. It's a topic each of us can have some input on at least.
That's true. And the best kind of input to give is constructive criticism.
Okay. So
let's preface this by saying The Witcher 3, the Netflix series, came out on the 20th of December. I brought it up briefly last time in like some offhanded mentions. This week I'm going to talk about it a bit more because you've been watching it.
Yeah,
And then I'm going to complain about the game.
Okay, I think I'm on episode 4 or something now.
Okay,
of the series.
What do you think of it?
It's good so far. It's definitely, the tone of the show is like a lot more solid. And I'm more okay with like the characters and everything now. I think at the beginning it was just seeming like it was like it wanted to be a lot more of a serious, gritty show. And
it's a pretty serious and gritty show.
There's okay, but not in the same way that Black Mirror is a serious, gritty show.
Please don't make me, brag on Black Mirror today. I can't do 2 in one day.
Okay, but you thought that at least some of Black Mirror was
the
good.
first 2 seasons are pretty good.
Okay, yeah.
Other than that, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, that's fair.
There are good episodes in between. Like Shut Up and Dance is a pretty good episode. Because it's the kind of episode that after you finish it, you get this pit in your stomach. And you're just like, oh.
I just couldn't watch anymore. I had to stop. It was just too much. It's just too dark and depressing.
I haven't looked at, I think, most of season 4 and season 5. Because I just stopped having stories that appealed to me pop up.
Yeah.
I think the last one I watched might have been the horror one.
Yeah.
No,
you're not typically a horror person.
Before the Beast. No, I'm not a horror person, particularly.
That's surprising.
But I did enjoy that episode for what it was.
Yeah.
Which was like a look into like the speed of technology relative to humans.
Okay.
But they'd already kind of done that with White Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, is that that's the
Christmas special.
Yeah. Or is that the one where like the guy was being interrogated
that's
inside of that simulator? Yeah, that one was a good episode. I enjoyed that.
The ending of that one and the ending of the horror one are relatively similar, being, oh, this was actually happening in like a split second in the real world.
Oh, is this the video game one?
Yeah, this is the video game one.
Yeah, that one was good. It was an interesting one.
But it didn't grip me in the same way. It kind of just felt like, oh, we want to tell a horror story. And then let's do a Black Mirror ending. It didn't feel like a Black Mirror episode through and through.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at like 15 Million Credits or White Bear or Shut Up and Dance, they're very much about the dangers of technology that aren't just needlessly thrown out there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's my problem with the future series of Black Mirror.
Okay. I guess with the that one based on video games, it's not really... That technology isn't really something that you think, how could this impact society in a meaningful way?
Yeah.
It's like... Whereas... I guess a lot of Black Mirror episodes are about like how it would change how just society functions.
Pretty much. And unfortunately, I didn't know I was talking about Black Mirror today. So
It's a little segment.
I'm not really prepared in my arguments about like my opinions on it.
That's fine. You don't need to be.
I don't need to be, but I think it's been a good couple of years since I last watched an episode.
Yeah.
So I'm not super up to date, but I am really up to date on The Witcher. That's why I wanted to do The Witcher.
Oh yeah. That's what I was saying about. Yeah. But like in the, because now I'm up to like episode 4 or something, the show seems a little less serious. Like it still has serious points, but with like the comic relief of like Geralt and wow, I forget.
Jaskier.
Jaskier, that's it.
You can call him Dandelion if you want. That's his English name.
Okay. I see, when I was trying to think of his name, I knew that it, like, the start of his name began with a sound that didn't correspond to the letter in English. That's the only thing I could think of. But yeah, with the comic relief between those two characters and some of the others, like, it makes a bit more sense to me.
Is episode 4 The Last Wish?
I think so. 'Cause that's the one where they like release.
They get the gin.
They get the gin, and Jaskier gets like his throat cut up by the gin or something.
Spoilers for The Witcher.
Yeah, that should be a given with anything.
There's nothing in the first season of The Witcher that I think would outright ruin the story for you, because it's a bunch of short stories. So there isn't actually a plot to this season too much.
I feel like it's always nice to go into something like completely blind, though, not knowing anything about it. I think.
I don't know how I feel about that, because on one hand I agree that I like going in and being surprised. On the other hand, I like knowing that like something good is coming.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of shows out there that are like, if you watch this all the way through, everything gets better.
Yeah.
But if you only watch the first 3 episodes, it's kind of a drag.
Okay, I can see that.
Because they have to do so much world building.
Yeah. I think there's... I guess with some things it like works quite well, but I think at least for me, just having like reviews be good about a particular show is like enough to kind of reassure me that it's gonna it's gonna get better, or it's gonna have some sort of something to enjoy.
Sorry, it's just I should mention for the audience at home, I am sick at the moment, as you might be able to tell in my voice and how I'm behaving. So if you ever hear like a long period of silence, it's probably me like stifling a sneeze as Josh is speaking.
Okay, it's fine though. I doubt anyone really cares.
I doubt the no people who watch this or listen to this are going to care.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, you got to pretend that someone is.
Do you?
Just in case someone does.
Yeah, but that's... Look, I think it's pointless trying to cater for the, like, 1% of people that are going to get outraged by a sneeze.
Well, we're 10 minutes in, and I just had to like stop one. So extrapolating, that's 12 times. That's about 12 too many.
For you.
For me. I don't get sick. Didn't happen.
But you are sick.
No, I'm not sick. So.
But you're ill.
Similar to other people who don't get sick, Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher 3 is a character, and he doesn't get sick. And we're going back to this, and we're going to get off of the fact that I'm not ill.
Okay. Getting off of the fact that you're ill. Got it.
Getting off the fact that I'm not ill.
Yeah, sure.
I want to complain about The Witcher 3, which is my favourite game. It's not Minecraft.
Is Minecraft your actual favourite game?
It's my favourite RPG.
Okay.
That will help.
I think
it's got too many like vital flaws that everyone is overlooking.
Just quickly, like if I remember rightly, it was Fallout 4. Was that one you enjoyed?
No.
Fallout 4 was not. Didn't you play that quite a bit when it came out?
Oh yeah, no, it's a fun game. But it's not like a good game.
Doesn't it being okay? It can. The game being fun can be like
Fallout 4 is a pretty okay game that I enjoyed playing while doing other things.
Okay.
I don't think it's a very good RPG, and it's a very bad Fallout game.
Okay, fair enough.
And I played Fallout 4 to play Fallout.
Yeah.
So it would be like playing The Witcher and then finding out it was an RTS. It's like, well, this could be the best goddamn RTS in existence, but like I'm here to play an RPG with, XPs and leveling up and monster hunting.
Yeah.
This isn't this.
Yeah.
So that's more what I mean in that.
Okay.
And I want to complain about The Witcher because I was looking on Reddit and I like a moron, I know. I was looking on Reddit to see if people agreed with me that the ending of The Witcher 3 is kind of hot garbage. And that's hyperbole.
Okay. Really?
But it's not good.
Yeah.
I'm going to break The Witcher 3 into 3 acts, and it's the acts that the game separates itself into, and then I'm going to complain about one of them.
Okay, sure.
Act 1, great. Really good. I think almost anyone could enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think I've only ever met one person in my life who doesn't enjoy it.
Wonder who that could be.
I don't know who that could be, but he might be in a Discord call with me doing a podcast. And then Act 2 is pretty good, but not as good as Act 1.
Yeah.
And Act 3 is just a complete letdown in every conceivable way.
Every conceivable way? Really?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
I don't think there's a single aspect of the third act that wasn't done better in the first two from a narrative perspective. And I don't think anything in Act 3 was better in terms of gameplay than anything that came before it either.
Okay.
That's my stance.
Yeah.
It's not my only stance, but it's the one I'm sticking to at the moment.
Okay, then. What exactly,
Josh, No. Before we do that, Josh, tell us why you think that The Witcher 3 Act 1 is one of the best gaming experiences that you ever played.
I definitely do not think that's the case.
Let's get your hot opinions out there, your hot takes out.
My hot takes on The Witcher 3. I doubt they're hot takes. Someone else has got to agree with me on some of these points.
No one agrees with you on these points.
There's got to be like at least 2 people, maybe 3, out there in the world, just somewhere.
Okay.
Guy, flipping springing this on me. I'm not fully prepared to argue these points.
Exactly. Luckily, we did this like 2 days ago, so you should be able to.
Oh no! That's not how this works. In the last 2 days, I have gone on to do other things and forget about The Witcher entirely.
Wow. I can't believe you just said something so hurtful.
So hurtful. To
Yeah.
who?
I've defined my existence based around this one IP. So
Oh, okay, fair. I'm sorry for getting your existence.
thanks. I appreciate it.
Okay, well, there's one thing which I think doesn't really need defending too much is the setting. I'm just not a fan of like the medieval kind of setting that they've gone for in it. To me, it just feels kind of a bit bland and uninteresting. Like you just have village after village of just very few wooden houses with mud paths and people just on those paths doing whatever.
I can't say you're wrong.
And then occasionally you'll have like a castle where there's stone buildings.
No. There's no castles that are actually functioning in The Witcher.
Okay,
Vizima doesn't count.
Okay, by castle I just mean bigger than the flippin' wooden huts that like all the peasants are living in. It's like the main towns or cities in The Witcher. I mean, I've not played much in, but who was it? It was the king guy. You help his baby or something.
That's a baron. He's not a king.
Okay, baron.
He's not even a real baron.
Oh. Okay, but his home, like that's the place I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's a manor house.
Okay, but it's
That's no castle.
It's more grand than like a wooden shed. That was kind of my point. Like,
did you never go north?
I think I did. Oh, there was the town on the island. Oh, was it an island?
Yeah, it was an island.
Yeah. That was like a primarily stone housing place, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was.
So that's pretty much what I've experienced so far. So there could be more. Could be.
But to be fair, it wasn't a big open field in that town.
Oh, okay, but why? I don't find the big open fields very interesting at all.
Yeah, which is why the town would be interesting.
Yeah, but the town isn't that interesting either.
I feel like
not to me.
I feel like someone's wrong here.
Okay, well that's part of it. I'm not a huge fan of the setting and the aesthetic choices that were made. That's more of a subjective thing, though.
I'll let you have it.
I feel like you kind of have to. It's not such an objective point I'm making.
I think someday you'll come to realise how wrong you are, and when that day comes, I will accept your apology with open arms.
Are you willing to accept that you're wrong about the gothic styles of Dark Souls and Bloodborne?
Well, I played through Bloodborne and Dark Souls.
It's true, but you enjoyed it for
I finished them.
Yeah, but you enjoyed the gameplay.
Yeah.
See, this is another thing with The Witcher that I'm not a huge fan of. The gameplay is just it does not feel good to play to me.
Wait, can I butcher your argument?
Sure.
Before you make it.
I mean,
can I completely misinterpret what you're about to say?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm in the mindset of Josh right now, and I'm playing The Witcher, and I'm thinking, man, this requires too much thought. There's too much thinking required to fight these enemies.
Okay, by thinking, are you saying that there's too much? Like, I don't enjoy having to think about like, oh, I've got like these 7 different potions that give me these different effects, and I've got to use them while in fast-paced combat. to help me, and I've got to be thinking about, oh, this type of enemy like requires this potion so that I can do the right type of damage to it. Oh, and this enemy can do this damage to me, so I need to use this potion to protect myself against that damage. That's all just.
Can I be a pedant for a second?
Sure.
It's actually oils that do more damage to enemies. Potions are things you drink that provide different effects. One of them is increased damage, but it's a universal effect. Okay, we can continue now.
Okay. Thanks for explaining that very vital and important point.
I was going to complain about it next episode. I figure I'd do it now while we're on the topic. I don't know if you seem like worse as a person.
That's just not something like I want to focus on. Like, yeah, I don't think I really want to be using a ton of brain power to solve things in a video game where I'm playing to have fun and relax.
Can I ask though, what is the difference between like that style of thinking about the best way to take down an enemy and like figuring out how to damage a Dark Souls boss? Because I'm not seeing the distinction.
Dark Souls is pretty much entirely about like pattern recognition attack pattern recognition. You just memorize their attacks, dodge when you need to. Yeah, but that's not. The combat isn't solely based on dodging and attacking. Whereas Dark Souls is.
Either. Dark Souls has like buffs you can put on your weapon that are more effective against certain bosses, and has like external items that you can bring in that make fights easier, like with the Father Gascoigne. And
okay,
I think it's a lot apparent in Dark Souls. I think The Witcher is just showing you that option's available, and I think that might put you off a bit more than it should.
Yeah, maybe. Well, them showing it off more makes it feel like, oh, this is something I really have to be doing if I want to like fight effectively. All right,
I'm gonna break this to you slowly.
Sure.
I've beaten the game on the hardest difficulty. I know. Praise me. The fact you clapped there is very patronising, but I do appreciate it.
You gotta take the compliment anyway.
I'll take it wherever I can get it. You can beat the entire game by never using a potion. Or an oil, or a dictation.
But along the same line, you can...
It's more gear-based than it is sort of skill-based.
But along the same line, you can beat Dark Souls with your fists without any armor.
This is less vacuous than that, though. I'm saying you can do it and it's not like a challenge.
Okay.
This does require you to like pick decent skills. But I mean, like, it's the same thing in Dark Souls, right? You can't just take the worst character in the game, play terribly, use bad items, and like beat the game easily.
Yeah.
If you play moderately okay, you don't have to do any of these things.
Yeah.
And now Josh is convinced he's going to play. He's going to play The Witcher 3 again. He's going to beat the entire thing, even though he doesn't like the story very much.
It's going to become my favorite game of all time.
Oh, I doubt it. Like the things that I want from a game are nowhere near what you want from a game.
No, we have very different requirements, which is fine. I want
a challenge.
Sorry.
I want a challenge.
You want. I'm fine with a challenge too. Like, Dark Souls isn't an easy game.
No, I mean, Dark Souls is a challenging game. We've had this discussion on episode 2.
Yeah.
I have the show notes in front of me, I can tell you. Yeah, apparently I can't. Actually, never mind. My bad.
Oh.
My God, I actually can't. Don't worry about it. It's not
broken. Podcast is over. Broken. Everything's broken.
Oh, I know why, actually. Never mind. You can continue, Josh. You may talk about Dark Souls.
Okay, sure. So Dark Souls is a challenging game. you actually have to. You can't just waltz through it, not really becoming better at the game and be fine. I mean, it's the same with like FromSoft's other games as well, like Bloodborne and Sekiro. We're talking about that. I have to say, Sekiro is like, at least in the ones I played. I haven't played Bloodborne, but Sekiro has like is much more fun to actually play than Dark Souls, I think. Like
really?
this, yeah, because it's not based, because you can't change your weapon in it. You're stuck with the katana.
Oh.
You're stuck with the katana.
Oh, you're getting sick as well, aren't you?
No, it's just because I don't talk. Like my voice, whenever I start talking for longer periods of time, my voice just dries. I'm sure it's actually noticed it when editing some of the episodes. Like you could see this gradual decrease in volume, in my waveform. Like it starts off kind of loud and then. Sorry,
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, yours.
I'll
like
start really quiet, and I will end this shouting.
Yeah, this is true. But yeah, Sekiro is like you start off with you. Yeah, you only have the katana, and then you also have like the prosthetics, which are like they're not. It's like a secondary kind of action. Like you can throw like throwing stars, and I'm not sure that's what they're called. Or like you have like a heavy axe to use to break shields, break enemies' shields. There's like little additional things that aren't used so frequently in combat. And the deflect as well. Like that's a very satisfying mechanic there. Like having to like deflect enemies' attacks at just the right moment to like build up their I think they call it posture in that game. I'm not too sure. To like kind of break down their defenses slowly. It's like there's it's like the two sides of the coin, like just being on the defensive to break their defense, or you can just be on the offensive and kind of trying to whittle away at their health. It's fun.
Can I just say something that's going to make me sound like an absolute prick?
You've never held back before.
I always ask on the podcast.
Okay. I mean,
I'm polite.
I don't remember, but sure.
Okay. I'm going to break this to you slowly. These are all things you do in The Witcher. Every single one of them.
Okay, yeah, sure.
You have abilities that break shields, and you can use the deflect, and you can shoot them with a crossbow,
yeah, well,
which is the same as throwing
the deflect.
stars, like...
Okay, but in Sekiro, like the deflect is like a very core important mechanic.
I'm not saying that they're the same.
Yeah, it's like when like if you deflect at the exact right moment, it like breaks down their defense like a lot more than it would otherwise. It's yeah. I mean, Sekiro does do sword fighting like a hell of a lot better than The Witcher 3 does.
I mean, I'm surprised by this fact because, I mean, The Witcher 3 is a game exclusively about sword fighting, where Sekiro is like a story RPG leveling up system where you can use magic. I mean, like, really, it's not fair to compare them.
Look, I know that Sekiro is like entirely about that, but
yeah. The dialogue options in Sekiro are very in-depth.
Sorry?
The dialogue options in Sekiro are very in-depth.
I don't care about that though. I don't really like having loads of dialogue options because they don't ever seem to me they never seem like you actually have a lot of options. It just seems like choose this option to get more exposition, or choose this option to just continue what you were doing. That's pretty And then, then sometimes you get choose this option to go on this path, or choose this option to go on the other path.
I mean, that is the crux of video games. They're not actually like fully open like D&D is.
No, but that's why it just seems too pointless. And it takes a while as well. Like each of those sections in The Witcher is like at least like a minute, it feels.
I think The Witcher is at least 30 to 40% listening to people talk.
Yeah, that's not...
And then it's about 20% travelling, and then it's 20% fighting, 20% walking through an environment, waiting for people to do their action trigger. Because for some reason there's so many... You can't sequence break in The Witcher, you're not allowed.
Travelling is another thing in that game I did not enjoy
you're about to
at
start
all.
a fight. Roach is a perfectly usable vehicle, and you complain excessively about Roach.
Okay, I wouldn't say I complain excessively about it. It's come up in conversation a lot, but that's because we still don't see eye to eye on it. I feel like I always need to try and
Justify yourself?
Yeah. Okay. So Roach sometimes veers off path. Like there's sometimes you have like a waypoint that you're going to on the map.
Yeah.
And you like Roach has the feature where you can just like double tap X, or I don't know what it is on
Sprint.
Yeah, okay. And like it's like an autopilot kind of mode. Is that fair to say?
It is.
Okay. So why doesn't Roach follow the waypoint?
Because that's not what the autopilot does.
Okay.
You can't turn the waypoint off.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
It always has to be one waypoint, and like I did so much exploring that wasn't going to those waypoints. Do you know how frustrating it would have been if every time I wanted to like go to a different marker, Roach was like, "Nah, we're gonna go and see Goldthrow Dim," and it's like, "No, stop."
Okay, that's fair. But
if you look at it instead of following a waypoint, it follows the roads. It makes way more sense.
Except it doesn't.
It does follow the roads.
Okay, let's say like you're going along a straight path with Roach.
Yes.
Then there's like further up the path, there's like a 90-degree turn to the right.
Yes.
And then there's like a 40-degree turn to the left.
Yeah, Roach will go to the 40-degree turn to the left. There's never a time Roach will go for the 90-degree turn unless it's a distinctly bigger road. If it's a main road, Roach might do that. If it's not a main road, Roach won't do that.
I have had that multiple times where Roach just takes like instead of going
Roach a bit, you gotta push her.
What's the point of using that feature at all if you still have to be controlling like the direction?
Because you don't have to press forwards. You can just like tap A and D.
Oh, I forgot you had to press forwards as well. Okay. I guess it's even just along straight paths. Like sometimes
I've
Roach...
never encountered this.
I have multiple times. Roach has just veered off down like it wasn't even like a main path. It was some back alley. And sometimes Roach has literally just started running off into a field when there was a perfectly good road that Roach was already on. Have
you considered that Roach actually knows more than you? Like, all right, let's put it in this perspective. Roach, how many people have played The Witcher? At least 100,000. Its peak recently was 103,000. So I'm going to guess 103,000 versions of Roach know what they're doing more than you.
Wait, what do you mean exactly?
The Roach that we play with is the Roach that everyone plays with. So it has the collective knowledge of 103,000 Roaches at any given time.
That's not true. It's the same exact knowledge, though.
Yes, but it's 103,000 times more.
That's not true. It's the same exact thing.
It's true. It is the same
just having
thing.
Another one of the thing. Unless it has like machine learning stuff and it shares that between all of your like games.
No, it doesn't. No.
That would have been interesting.
About Roach. Now I'm going to complain about Roach.
Okay.
Right? Because your complaints are meaningless. They're incorrect and meaningless. My complaints are valid. And I've got evidence that they're valid. I've brought receipts.
Really?
Okay, so Roach sometimes gets stuck on a fence.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. You'll call Roach, and Roach is like, hey, you know what? I like this fence now. How you doing, the fence? Or a tree or something. Right?
Yeah.
This is a confirmed issue.
Okay.
So much so that there's a quest about it.
There's a quest about it?
Yep.
So they didn't... Have they fixed the issue?
No.
So they didn't fix the issue,
no.
But they created a quest about it?
Yes.
Okay. I don't quite understand that.
Well, fixing Roach is harder than it sounds.
Yeah, I guess
it's quite difficult to fix.
I guess it probably
Roach.
is, because there's probably a lot of pathfinding stuff that would have to be changed.
Exactly. But, you know what can be easily done? Just have a little quest.
Yeah. So what is this quest?
So, you're doing some other task. It's been a while since I've done it. I haven't done the DLC recently.
Mm-hmm.
I have done the rest of the game. You're doing this thing, you drink some potion. The potion lets you talk to animals.
Okay.
So you start talking to Roach.
Yeah.
And she sounds very manly.
Okay.
Which is another joke in there. I'll put a link to this thing in the description. And they comment. There's like a little dialogue option, which is like, how come, I can call you and you'll like appear across oceans, but you'll get stuck on the tiniest fence? Yeah. Or, sometimes you make a mistake. Happens.
Is that's the excuse the horse gives?
That's the excuse Roach gives.
That sounds like a little bit of an FU to the gamer.
Yeah, no, it is. It completely is. But it's very endearing.
It's like, shut up. We made a game. Just enjoy it.
Well, it's just the little things are difficult in life, you know? And like, I know. Just to carry everything.
It's not a real horse, though.
No, but I mean, you gotta pretend it's real.
Okay. But we're talking about like an issue with the game.
Yes.
That's not an issue with like.
Well, I think the issue is fixed itself because there's a joke in there. They made a joke out of it, and it's not a big issue, so I think it's fine.
Okay. I guess that's fair.
That is fair.
It still feels weird them just acknowledging it and just saying and then like doing nothing about it, but I guess at least they're aware.
Exactly. At least they're aware. Now, do you want to hear a bigger issue?
Okay.
The game is mind-numbingly easy.
Oh. Gotta admit, I did not experience this. No? It wasn't mind-numbingly easy for me. It was
what difficulty did you play it on?
It was probably normal.
It's too easy. The game is too easy. I hate it.
I mean, it was just more boring. Okay, I don't
need to be stopped.
I don't like the combat. I don't like the dialogue. I don't like the traveling. I'm running out of things, like elements of the game to find enjoyment in.
Staring at Geralt.
He's a pretty good-looking dude. I'll give him that, but I'm not gay, so.
Okay, that's fine. There are other sex scenes.
That's true.
That also involve Geralt.
That's also true.
But I mean, you can look past that.
I could. But
see, now I've provided you one thing you can enjoy about the game. You can shut up.
I don't know if I can really enjoy that though. Why would I? Weird. Yeah.
Let me just play through the game for the 6 sex scenes over 120 hours.
Someone's going to have uploaded them on YouTube as well.
I doubt it, because they've got nudity, Josh.
Okay. They probably uploaded a censored version, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there are other websites that one could view these scenes.
I'm not familiar.
But if you were on
I can't think of any.
So it would not be said website. If you were on said website,
yeah,
there are other things you could be looking at.
Yeah, that's true. You're not just stuck with the Witcher 3 scenes.
Yeah, it would be strange. But back to the true issue here. The game's too easy.
Okay.
Right? I want the game to actually be hard.
And
I want to be able to have the game be hard and also use the builds that I enjoy using.
Yeah.
Because I looked online to see if there was a way around this, and the way around it was just, use enemy level scaling, which doesn't actually solve my problem. Because enemy level scaling makes all the enemies' levels your level. Which sounds like it would solve my issue of the game being too easy.
Yeah.
But it makes it more tedious. It doesn't make it harder.
Yeah, because you're just...
I'm good enough at the game to dodge most attacks.
It's then just about just
how
getting the health
can I hit
down.
This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not taking any damage, then it's just a matter of time.
Exactly. So here's my proposal. And it comes in 2 forms.
Okay.
The reason enemy level scaling also doesn't help me is because I would be level 24 and go and find some question mark Griffin out in the middle of nowhere and fight it.
Okay. Yeah.
Which obviously, if it level scaled, it would either have to come down to my level or it would be unchanged.
Yeah.
So if that enemy's too easy, there's no in-game solution to this except mod, which I don't think is a valid solution to a problem.
No. I guess it's not...
I think if I'm complaining about something in the game, I'd like it to be legitimately solved because I think it's something that could benefit the next game they make.
Yeah, that's fair. Have you actually looked into mods though? Is it something that
I use the Nexus mod manager. I think is fine.
Yeah,
most of them are just sex mods. There's a couple of overhaul mods too that make the game harder, but not quite how I want it to be. They do a lot of rebalancing, which I might look into at a later point. But it's a very long game. So the only way to get a feel for this is to play it through a couple of times, and it becomes problematic.
Yeah.
So I'm going to describe my perfect Witcher fight.
Okay.
I've found a creature. Maybe it's a contracted creature, maybe it isn't. And I see it. And I think, do I recognize this creature? Yes or no? If no, does the bestiary tell me? If yes, go. Imagine I said yes the first time. If no on that, you're going to have to wing it. If I do know this creature, what do I know about it? Do I know if it's fast or fast and light attacks, or is it fast and high attacks but low health? Is it the kind of enemy that if it hits me once, I'm pretty much dead regardless? Or is this an endurance fight? I want to think about these things and then go, okay, let's swap out my build to better accommodate this enemy and then bring the correct equipment to better deal with it, and then fight it and have it be a relatively tough fight with all of these advantages.
Yeah.
Now, you don't sound convinced by my idea.
I don't think... Well, I think that's a fair thing to want. I don't think that's the type of thing I'd enjoy, though.
You don't have to enjoy it, but this is what I want, because I never felt like the contracts were ever difficult.
Yeah. Like, you want to have something
feel
which
like a
has...
Witcher.
Yeah, you want to actually properly prepare or have to properly prepare for it with, like, going on what you know about the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice to me. That's what I would like.
That seems like quite a difficult thing to achieve in a game.
It does. And
there's a lot of factors.
It would be very difficult in The Witcher currently as well, because there aren't enough skill points to go around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in The Witcher, the game we are talking about, you have... the skill tree is kind of terrible. So to get the... there's in each tree, you have sign, alchemy, and combat. There are 5 trees that you can go down. If you have 5 points in any of the tree, you can get the second tier, and then if you have 10 points and so on until 30 points, that'll give you the last tier.
Yeah.
Which means that at level 30, you'll start unlocking the final tier of any given attack style, whether it be light attack, strong attack, crossbow, general combat, like Ignis, any of that stuff.
Okay.
The problem with this is that either you spend a lot of money respecking all the time to have better, like, chance in fights, or you never take any niche perks because it's never worth it.
Yeah. That sounds like a problem in a lot, or, like, I imagine that's a problem in a lot of RPGs, though, with similar tech tree or skill tree things.
But it isn't a problem in Fallout New Vegas.
No?
So Fallout New Vegas had a nice, clever thing that it did, where it said, here are your basic talents, like you had melee... So you had melee, unarmed, big guns, small guns, stealth, lockpicking, speech, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then every second level you would get a perk. And that perk would provide you more niche bonuses or more fun bonuses that changed the way that you played instead of a numerical bonus.
Yeah.
With The Witcher, there's a lot of numerical bonuses.
Okay.
So when I play like a light armor, high attack, fast attack build. Because there's no advantage to taking hits, really.
Yeah.
Except, I guess, like, 1 or 2 potions might help, but that then becomes, like, a costly endeavor. So, like, you can't just continue with fights if you keep meditating. It's annoying.
Yeah.
And also, they're just generally weaker. Like, the most powerful effect in the game is bleed, and fast attacks apply bleed.
Yeah.
And they attack faster. Oh, look, there's the optimal build. Fast attacks. I've never seen anyone take sign skills that aren't, like, delusion so that you can, like, pass speech checks easier, and the heal from being hit one. That's it. That's all you can imagine taking, really.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anyone take anything in alchemy. There's not a single reason to do it. And I would have liked that to have been addressed before development stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there just not much reason for taking anything in there?
Well, it's like, oh, your potions are stronger, but, like, I can beat the game on the hardest difficulty without using a potion.
Yeah. I guess if they're not... if you don't need them, then it's not much point.
If you don't need them, there's no point taking them. And then it feels like an entire mechanic's being wasted.
Yeah.
Which is why I would like harder enemies with more weaknesses that... Not necessarily weaknesses, but more styles of attack that allow me to change out. So I would like more skill points and a less restrictive skill tree. Because the way The Witcher does skills as well is you can only have 9 equipped at a time, maximum.
Okay.
So that would imply that it wants you to swap out occasionally, but it doesn't give you enough to be able to swap out.
Oh, so you just kind of stick to one thing.
Yeah, the max level is level 100.
Okay.
So by the end of it, like, that's not the problem I have, but we'll get back to that in a minute. By the end of the game, you could have like the ability to swap out a lot of builds.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you may have figured out this trick, which is after 2 playthroughs, because this is only level 100 with New Game Plus, by the time you've played the entire thing through, you got nothing to fight.
Yeah.
What do I use these skills for?
Yeah. It's not really... Yeah, there's not really much to do at that point.
There's not much to do. So, is that my second issue? Is that my second problem with the game that isn't the story? It's my third problem with the game, because Roach counted as one.
Okay. Yeah.
I got at least 2 more. But they're quick.
Okay, then.
And you will be able to understand my gripe with this one.
Okay, then.
XP.
XP. Okay.
Yeah. For the uninitiated, that means experience.
What?
So, I know.
Oh my god. I thought it meant experience points.
It's true, it actually probably does. They're interchangeable, generally. Like, EXP is experience points or just experience.
Yeah.
But either way, here's how you gain experience. You get experience by doing quests. And, some side objectives that do exist but are pretty rare.
Okay.
If a quest is 6 levels or lower than your level, you will gain a 15th of the experience from it.
A 15th?
Yes.
That is quite low.
But the opposite isn't true, for obvious reasons. Getting 15 times the experience is broken.
Yeah.
But if I do level 30 quests at level 15, I don't get a bonus for that. The best way to play is to do every quest that is as low as it is, as the lowest level you can do until you work your way up. Which is really limiting in choice, also punishing to people who play the game in the way they want to play it.
Wait, so I would assume that the higher level quests give more XP than earlier quests, right?
Not really, no.
Really? So, XP gain is actually pretty, consistent throughout the leveling?
So, the way that leveling works is the difference between level 1 and 2 is, I think 100 XP.
Yeah.
And between 2 and 3, 100, up to about level 5 or maybe 10. And then it goes to 500, and then after that it's 1,000, and then 2,000.
Okay.
So the gap is relatively consistent. So you get relatively frequent level ups but just by doing quests.
Wait, so is the leveling XP required exponential?
No, it's like a flat 100, then 100, then 100, then 100, then 100, and then at a certain level it goes to 500 every level, up until 10 levels later, and then it's 1,000, and then 2,000 until the end. So
okay, so it's actually that's not.
It's pretty linear.
Yeah,
it's lots of stop gaps, but once you're in a threshold, it's just 1,000 and then 2,000.
Yeah. Okay, so that is
so getting a 15th of the XP in a quest is brutal.
Yeah.
I don't know why this decision was made.
Because
the only way to gain XP is to do quests.
Oh.
And do these side things, but these side things are also not leveled. So sometimes it's a level 30 enemy, sometimes it's level 5. And as such, by doing level 30 quests, I get penalised because I gain levels and the rest of the quests give less.
Yeah, that's true. It's just going to be worse.
It's just worse. And this is on top of the fact that on higher difficulties, you just get less XP.
Yeah.
On the highest difficulty, Death March, you gain 80% of the experience that you would gain on normal.
Okay.
Which also doesn't make any sense to me.
So you've really got to, carefully choose, which quests you're doing first? You really have to do it in order of, level.
If you want max level, you have to do things in the correct order.
Yeah. That does seem a bit silly. So you can't... There's no other way of getting XP, from killing enemies. It's just from quests.
Yeah, just from quests. There is a thing in there that, there's a couple of, items that say, gain plus 5% bonus from killing enemies. XP bonus from killing enemies. I've never gained experience from killing enemies.
Really?
I mean, unless it means quest rewards. Like, maybe that might be what it means, that it gives the experience for killing a monster contract. And that's actually where it gives you the XP. And so you gain 5% extra on that. That's a pretty minimal amount of your XP gain, though.
Yeah.
Like, there are some quests where it's talk to 3 NPCs, you get 400 XP. Well, you should get 500, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. That's...
But
yeah,
this
that
is a
doesn't
knock-on
really
effect.
seem very good.
This is a knock-on effect.
Mm-hmm.
So, I ended the game after doing all the side quests and all of the points of interest in the world at level 33.
Okay.
That's one level lower than the highest level armor set that you can craft, which requires you to go out and get resources and find the blueprints and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Which means that while being one level lower than someone else at that, someone else who would be at that point, I'm also an entire armor set lower.
Yeah.
Which doesn't bother me too much because the game is mind-numbingly easy.
Mm-hmm.
Just makes it a bit more tedious.
Yeah.
But I have trouble like wrapping my head around this XP decision.
It does seem... yeah, it seems odd.
Like, imagine if in Dark Souls, enemies just decided, like, oh yeah, you've beaten Pontiff Sullivan. Is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
You've beaten that boss. We're not giving you any more souls.
Yeah.
Just like, you've got to fight enemies past him.
Yeah. That'd be stupid.
But
it's like a lot of the way
it does actually do that. It just does it discreetly.
A lot of the way... wait, what does?
Well, after you beat Pontiff Sullivan, enemies give like 2,000 souls each.
Yeah.
Right? But if I go back to the beginning of the game, they give me about 5 or 10.
Yeah, it's
I still get the same reward. It's just I've surpassed it.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the way The Witcher should have done it. It should have gone, these quests just give like no XP, but you still get the same amount you would gain otherwise. So that 2 people who do quests in different orders end up at the same point by the end.
That seems like a... I thought that like the problem of how to progress in that type of game in like a leveling RPG kind of game, I thought that had already been solved with that kind of like XP system where it's just exponential through the different
frankly, I thought we'd solved this as well.
Yeah.
I didn't find out about this until like the end of my second playthrough.
That's
because I was sitting there because I distinctly remember spending like way too much time crafting masterworked armor on my first playthrough because I hadn't gone around exploring too much, so I didn't have much money or many materials. And then on this playthrough, after I'd done all of those things, I thought I should have like I should be able to do this now, right? I'm about to do the final fight.
Huh.
Like, I beat the game, and I'm still not a high enough level for it.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that never really occurred to me as like a problem that a game would have. Because just the wealth of, like, RPGs that do it with that kind of exponential...
Even Fallout 4 knows how to do XP. Here's the list of things that give you XP. Here's the amount of XP you need to level up.
It's not even just RPGs. It's like any XP based leveling system that I've seen has been that kind of like each area gives like.
You want to know what's crazy?
Certain amounts.
Ben 10. I can't remember. I think it's Ben 10 Alien Force or something like that on the PS3.
Game? Oh, okay.
Does XP leveling better than The Witcher in terms of like the numeric understanding of how levels should work.
There's got to be a reason really why they made that choice, though, right?
It's such a bizarre choice.
This is like the baffling thing with like really big games, like The Witcher 3 is. It's like
it just slips through the cracks. No one talks about this.
Yeah. There are sometimes these like really weird issues that are like actually kind of big. Yeah, and they're
okay,
just...
I would like to correct. I'm not going to say this is a big issue because I noticed it over 2 playthroughs.
Okay, but it's
and there aren't enough quests for this to be a major issue. But it is still an issue that shouldn't exist.
But I can't think of like a reason why they would go for anything different in the first place. Like, when did The Witcher come out?
Maybe 2015.
And when
5 years ago now.
When did the first Pokemon game come out?
The 80s.
So, like the first Pokemon game 90s, like had leveling like pretty well, right?
I mean, the original Pokemon game had like a plethora of issues, and leveling wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Pokemon Red. It was 96. It wasn't the 80s. 96.
Okay. Like that's
still like...
That's like almost 20 years beforehand, and leveling was like already solved. Like I'd never had any problems with that kind of system. Actually, no, I had one problem. I suppose
this is reasonable.
Because if in something like Borderlands, like going back, there's no
way with it though.
There's no, but there's no other than just having the quest done or like wanting to see what happens in the quest. There's no point to going back and doing early quests if you didn't do them in the early game.
No, you're absolutely right. There isn't,
because you get the same amount of XP for killing an enemy in the later areas as you do for doing like a half-hour quest.
I remember farming Old Slappy because I had the boss skill on 0 and it was faster than doing the quests.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he would scale to your level.
Oh, okay.
It was on True Vault Hunter, so he'd always give about 1,000 XP. And then you'd get faster at killing him because you kept getting new skills.
Yeah.
But why a 15th? Like, I could maybe understand if it gave you half XP.
A 15th, like that's very, very low.
Yeah, it's giving you, like, barely anything.
Less than 10%.
Less than 10% XP
insane.
For being 6 levels ahead.
Yeah. So what level would you say... Like, what level were you on your first playthrough by the end?
I had the Master Crafted Cat set, so I would have been at least level 34. So that's one level difference.
Is there like
minimum.
So is it just like as soon as you're 6 levels like above the quest, it's just there's no like it doesn't progressively get to that point.
No, it's just
that's
a
really
flat,
weird.
like straight. It's a straight there thing. It's like part of me gets it.
Yeah,
you don't reward people for doing really easy quests later, and because the way they've done their XP system, those quests would still give 400 XP.
Yeah,
but how about just don't do that?
Well, the thing is, they would have got to that level anyway. Like
they had to do harder things.
Easier. Yeah, they're making it harder by just making sure you can't level as much if you're doing, or like if you skip the quests in the early game. That doesn't really seem like a fair way of making the game harder.
You want to talk about difficulty? Because I can tell you like the changes that you go through on each difficulty setting in The Witcher.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're gonna be happy with it.
Oh, does it do like just really basic, like just now every enemy is like has twice as much health, or you do like half as much damage or something?
Okay, so
I mean, I'm not okay. Just to clarify, I'm not 100% against that, but it's not the. I don't know how else you would do it, really.
So here, there are some things that I really like about how they do difficulty, and there are some things that I don't.
Okay.
On just the story, meditation grants vitality. So you can full heal by meditating, which you just press N to do. And I think that's perfectly fine for people who just want to, have full health before every fight and don't want to think about taking damage or healing or, anything like that.
Yeah.
That's good difficulty changes because that's the same for normal. And then on the two hardest difficulties, which is hard and very hard, it goes, nope, you've got to think about healing yourself after fights.
Okay.
So you can play cautiously or you can have more restoring abilities or whatever.
Yeah.
But then we look at the changes on health. So on easy, enemies have half health.
Yeah.
And they do the base amount of damage that they can do.
Okay.
And you get 100% experience. On normal, they have 10% more health. They do 40% more damage. And you get 100% experience. Now, here's where things get weird. Enemy health on hard, 20% higher. They do 130% more damage.
Plus 130?
So they do 230% damage.
Really?
Right?
That's
and you gain 90% experience.
Oh.
But you want to see something nuts. Do you remember that the enemy health scaling was last time? It was 120% of their actual health. Right?
Yeah.
180%. They have nearly double health, do 330% damage, so 230% extra, and you gain 80% experience.
Okay, that's a very big jump.
Triple damage.
That's a very big jump.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm going to sit here and tell you that's too easy, because it is.
But that's only in the way that, the optimal way that you've found to play the game. It's like you can.
I think if I played this game with a really odd build that didn't work properly, I would still be able to beat this game easily.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you don't really get hit though, do you?
I get hit a lot, tons.
Oh, really?
I played with the skill that made it so that every time you died, you would not die.
Oh, okay.
Provided you were into the fight. It promoted a very aggressive playstyle, but it also involved you having essentially no armor.
Mm.
But if you were going to play a very defensive playstyle, you just play with the bear set, and then you have your is it Ken or Kine or the defense shield up every 2 seconds, and then what are you going to do? You still can't take damage, and you still hit really hard.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I could beat this game with some really wacky alchemy build, and I'd be fine.
Yeah.
The random alchemy build, where every time you use a potion, another random potion activates.
God, that sounds bad.
It just sounds terrible because most of the potions don't do anything.
Oh.
Also, one of them removes potion effects. There is a potion of anti-potion, basically, because it's to, after a fight, if you're taking toxic damage, you drink this, potion's effects are over, you're back to normal.
Okay.
It's the reset button.
Yeah.
But that's a potion that can randomly drink.
And that would get rid of good potions too.
Well, there are quite a few good potions, but they're potions how I kind of like them. So I'm not going to give you a full description of them all, because I would be here for ages. But there's a potion called Cat, and Cat allows you to see in the dark.
Yeah.
That's what it does. It makes caves easier to look and explore through.
Yeah.
Has low toxicity, there's basically no consequence to drinking.
Okay.
Then there's Thunderbolt, which is you hit like a truck. That's the effect.
Mm-hmm.
And Swallow, which is you heal. So let's say I drink a Thunderbolt to, fight.
Yeah.
Now a Cat's activated. That sounds good in theory of it's random. You can't tell how the fight's going to go. But it pretty much just means, I'm going to have a weird visual effect.
Yeah.
Like, there's another one called Killer Whale, which is you can breathe underwater for longer. And it's like,
weird.
Great. There's no downside.
Yeah. There's nothing that you wanted or needed.
No, and then there are bombs which don't do anything. Like, I think the hardest way to play the game is a bomb build.
Yeah.
Because the bombs are garbage and they have, like, 5 uses each.
Yeah.
Yeah. Needless to say, The Witcher is filled with problems.
Yeah. I mean, every game's going to have its issues, I guess.
I've played it enough to see them.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's a thing that puts me off doing a third playthrough.
I mean, how many hours have you played it now?
Oh, I don't want to tell you.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. I like how close I got my microphone to my keyboard this week. Sorry if that's annoying anyone.
It'll be fine.
Sure. I'll move it. Just now I'm going to sound a bit different. I've played 206 hours.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's pretty...
No, I've played like more of other games.
Yeah, way more.
I just, it's such a good game, but I feel like no one wants to admit the very obvious flaws with it.
Yeah, I guess that happens when it's like when something is so highly praised, it then just seems untouchable.
Because I love this game.
Seems
it's
like
really
no
good. I would recommend it to
least.
most people.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to convince you to like it. I'm trying to get you to see the game how I see the game, but you never will.
No.
Right? And Gwent is like the best thing about the game. I have nothing bad to say about Gwent.
And I'm not a huge fan of card games. It's kind of a difficult thing to get me to like.
Oh wait, I have one more complaint while we're here.
Yeah.
None of the signs do anything. So signs are your magic ability. You have 5 of them.
Okay.
Shoot, fire, shield, force push, slow things down, and mild mind control. That's it. That's like the basic description.
Yeah.
The only good ones are the push down and the shield. And the rest are terrible. And I think they need to be improved in their upgrade trees, and they're just not.
Oh. Part of this... Am
I convincing you to play the game?
No.
I'm shocked.
A lot of this sounds like The Witcher 3 has like quite a few different areas that it tries to cover. Like
it's a jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah. And yeah, that definitely seems apparent. Yeah, it doesn't seem
really
like there's one
jack,
area that it excels.
By the way, like it's really good at lots of things.
Yeah,
but it's really shallow. I think that's the problem with The Witcher.
Yeah,
like with Dark Souls, there's a bit more depth to it.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to sit here and say I like Dark Souls more than I like The Witcher because I don't. It's just not true. But I can look at Dark Souls and be like, the lore is. I'm not going to say there's less lore in Dark Souls, but there's more depth to the lore. You can keep digging for a while before you reach the end.
Yeah.
Where in The Witcher, it's kind of the stories are relatively apparent. There's a little bit of details here and there that you can look into, and so there are really good stories in there. I think there's more good stories in The Witcher than there are good stories in Dark Souls, just because most of the stories in The Witcher are good, and there's more of them.
Yeah.
But I don't think the stories in The Witcher are better than Dark Souls. If you can get the whole story in Dark Souls, which is an issue I have with it in its entirety.
I mean, yeah, we've talked about this at length before.
Yeah, but never on a podcast, Josh.
Sorry?
Never on a podcast.
No, we haven't. We could get into that if you want.
We could get into it. But I don't think there's anything controversial here, because I think my main position here is I'm not a fan of games without stories too much.
Okay.
No, let's do the hot take.
I've actually got a couple of other examples of games as well.
I want to do a hot take.
Okay.
Dark Souls 3 doesn't have a story. That's my hot take.
Okay.
And I'm going to clarify that hot take for the no people who care.
Okay.
Which is, Dark Souls contains lots of stories within it, but its principal themes are about loneliness and isolation and unimportance. Therefore, you as a character, is it Unkindled?
Yeah, I think so.
Or the Hollow or whatever, like your main character in each game, you aren't anybody important, and I'm not a great fan of those stories.
Okay.
Where in Dark Souls, if you've got a character who's nobody and with themes of isolation, you can't have a story. Really.
Sorry, it cut out a little bit there.
That's fine. Like in Dark Souls, if you're playing as a character who's a nobody, and the themes are isolation and loneliness, you can't have a story. It just doesn't work.
Yeah,
because
the story...
otherwise you're not nobody anymore.
Yeah. The story is what happens... Well, okay. It's not like a written, dialogue-heavy story. The story of Dark Souls is you are this nobody. You're like one of the millions, or I don't know, however many other like Unkindled or Hollows or whatever they are, have gone on the same path as you, but you know there are many. Like you're one of the many, and the story is just of you going through this cruel, unforgiving world, defeating these I can't remember how many like main bosses there were.
It's 5 in Dark Souls 3.
Okay. Is that including the final
Soul of Cinder, I think?
Really?
Because there's 5 Lords of Cinder, but one of them's like accepted that he needs to die. He's accepted his place in the world, and the other 4 haven't. Well, let's be fair, they're a pair of twins, so technically 6.
Yeah.
But 5.
Okay, yeah.
Because they're in the same arena, so we count them as one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so there's... Yeah, you defeat the 5 bosses and you end the cycle or whatever. Or depending on, like...
Or link it,
whatever ending you get. I really like the fact that it doesn't give a whole lot to you. It doesn't force story on you in any way, really. Like, it has a few cutscenes, and most of them...
The cutscenes are mainly just, like, you walking into an area and you're seeing what they're doing at the time.
Yeah,
right?
well,
I think that's about it.
The main cutscenes are just when you enter a boss room and you get to see the boss in all its glory, which I'm absolutely fine with, because those cutscenes are actually pretty cool. I quite like the Dancer of the Boreal Valley.
Where she drops down from the ceiling and is...
that's
so
pretty
good.
cool. Like, you've entered this room, then you can't escape now. There's a giant flipping thing.
There wasn't a single boss in Dark Souls 3, the non-DLC, I haven't played the DLC yet, that I didn't think, that was at least visually interesting.
There's one boss in the DLC you'll definitely think that of.
Is it Dog with Sword?
Yeah.
But that was more of a callback to Dark Souls 1, wasn't it?
It was.
Dog with Sword.
Yeah. Well, it's where you fight isn't particularly interesting. And also, it's not just Dog with Sword. It's also just regular guy with, like, club or something.
Oh, is it like a
sword
combo one? We have to fight both at the same time.
Yeah, it's not particularly fun. I didn't find
Dark
it fun.
Souls are good, by the way. I want to make that clear. There are some pretty bad Dark Souls bosses. I think is he Cyrus or something, like the dog guy? Terrible. Hate him.
The dog guy?
I'll look up his name. Just so that you can understand what I'm talking about here.
Are you talking about the dog with the sword in his mouth, or?
Dark Souls 3. I honestly I cannot remember his name. I know it begins with an O, and like
Oh, is this the one that
Oceros or something? There'll be a link in the description. I'll send you a link as well, Josh.
Okay.
But I hate this boss. I think it's a very cool looking boss. I like everything about the area.
Yeah.
But I absolutely despise this boss.
Is this the one that... Wait, is it a dragon kind of thing?
It's the Consumed King.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the one that, like, it jumps at you.
But there's, like, no wind-up on the charge sometimes. It's just, like, I've attacked, and now you're being punched
that's fair. That boss was especially annoying because the route to it was, like, it wasn't particularly easy. Yeah, you have to fight. There's
you can run past everything, but there's like a guy who comes like out of the way. You have to like skip past him, and
I was definitely like
he is an optional boss.
That's true,
but I still hate him. He's still a poor. Also, he's guarding the way to Gundyr. He's a really good boss.
Yeah, the second. How was the? I can't remember the second Gundyr fight.
Second Gundyr is just first phase Gundyr the whole time. Never transforms.
Oh, okay, that's better then.
He's easier though, because first form Gundyr is easy, relatively.
Yeah, the second. The problem with the second form is that it's just some of the attacks are just
slam, slam, slam.
Yeah, you can get hit from quite far away, and I think sometimes him just putting his arm on the floor can do like a lot of damage to you if you're close enough, which you kind of have to be in that fight.
Yeah, if you get further away, you are at a major disadvantage because he completely outranges you.
Yeah. You have to... That's the thing with most bosses I find is just be behind them the entire time.
Yeah,
be close and behind them. Yeah.
It's how you beat Cleric Beast and Bloodborne as well.
Yeah.
Just stick on him. Especially because of the healing effect of when you punch him a lot, like stab him a lot.
Yeah.
It really promotes aggressive behavior.
Yeah. That's one of the things that like has made me want to play Bloodborne, is the fact that like it definitely pushes being aggressive a lot more than Dark Souls does.
So I said last episode that I was like, I've been playing Bloodborne. I haven't played any more since then. It's been putting me off playing aggressively.
Yeah. Is that not something? Because I thought that's
you've seen me play every game ever. I play like hyper aggressively.
I mean, especially like in Dark Souls, you chose not to use a shield because
no shield,
you wanted to
just like stabbed them because it was the most DPS way to do things.
You wanted to be more aggressive and quick, and that is essentially what Bloodborne is. You have to be a lot more aggressive and quick about everything.
I want someone to tell me why I don't like Bloodborne in the way that I like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I mean, it genuinely might just be a console to PC thing that I'm just like really not connecting with.
Yeah, playing with the lower FPS and like more delay to input, like
it's the Witcher conundrum. It's lots of small things that bother you.
Yeah,
it just puts you off.
Yeah, because you like the setting is something you really don't like.
I've grown to be okay with the setting. Like from Dark Souls, I was pretty put off by it, but like as you move through, it's kind of like, oh, all right,
okay,
whatever. I'm used to it. Although, like, I would genuinely appreciate if they just like chilled with the blood. Like, blood in and of itself isn't an interesting concept. Like, doing something with blood is.
I mean, they do kind of do something. Like, blood is a theme in Bloodborne.
Can blood be a theme?
It's in the
Surely
name.
The theme would be sacrifice.
Use blood fire. I mean, sacrifice probably happens at some point in Bloodborne.
I
feel like it must.
His moon presence or something, and like.
Sorry?
His moon presence or something, and there's like a bunch of. Everyone's being infected, and.
Yeah.
Okay, this is actually my problem with Bloodborne. Bloodborne has a plot.
It has a plot in the same way that Dark Souls has a plot.
It has a genuine plot.
Yeah.
Right? You have to go out and discover it yourself. It's not told to you or anything, which is fine. Honestly, I'm not too bothered by that fact. But the problem is that it kind of wants you to know the plot while never telling you it. So lots of bosses stop making sense. Where it's like, I'm just fighting this thing for the same reason I'm fighting it in Dark Souls, and that is not the theme of Bloodborne.
Yeah.
It kind of is.
I mean, you're a hunter, and that's what you do. You hunt the things.
You're a hunter because you're immune to the moon presence.
Yeah.
And the church is spreading the moon presence because that's what it thinks is. It's a bit.
I'm not familiar with it.
There's like an active plot occurring, unlike in Dark Souls, which is like, oh, the time is ending, a new era is dawning.
Yeah.
Bloodborne is very much like, there is a thing that is happening. Like, it might be over, but like, the moon presence exists still. You have to go and kill it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like as I was, nothing made sense in Bloodborne to me. Like Dark Souls made way more sense.
Yeah. I think I enjoy those games a lot more just as an experience rather than like learning about the story and knowing like about the events and specific things that happen. It's I quite like the effect that at least like Dark Souls 3 had on me, where it was just I was able to just go through it experiencing like the kind of the themes and emotions of each area kind of loosely connected to like the story that it has.
Do you think Dark Souls would be significantly worse if you removed the themes?
You
think it would just hold up? I kind of think it would. I'm not saying the themes don't add anything, but I feel like the core fundamentals of Dark Souls is sort of go and kill boss.
I think it would still be fun, but it's I think I think the FromSoft games, like the Bloodborne, the Dark Souls, the Sekiro, they do a good job of having like the gameplay elements, the world, like the whatever story is going on. They're all very closely connected. Like there's no. Because the story isn't really being like told with like a load of dialogue and cutscenes like it is in Witcher. Everything is a lot more singular in how you experience it. I think I quite like that aspect of it.
I think the difference between Dark Souls and The Witcher in that regard of like having the singular experience versus the ability to sort of change the story in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
Which is a problem The Witcher has with its ending, which it never got to. Maybe I will, later. Is that it goes back to the theme of Dark Souls, which is like you are like a nameless guy who has no control. You will do this thing, and if you don't do it, someone else will.
Yeah.
But The Witcher is about a person with like a destiny.
Well, I mean, actually, in Dark Souls you do have control. Like the choices that you make
choose not to do it, someone else will though. You're not really important unless you do this thing.
You don't have. You don't inherently have like any importance. The importance is like what. Well, because you're this no-named faceless thing. It's kind of what you make of it.
Sorry, I had to just stifle. I'm trying to stifle a cough. It's not working. It's happening.
Can go ahead and cough. It's fine.
No, I'm gonna hold strong.
Oh, okay.
There is something I will say about Dark Souls is it's solid all the way through.
Yeah. There's
Unlike The Witcher,
okay.
it's not like a descending scale of quality. It is consistently good. We're going to ignore Soul of Cinder.
Soul of Cinder was a bit of a letdown.
I think he's a nice theoretical boss.
He's a good boss, but it's a little anticlimactic.
Okay, I disagree.
Really?
I was going to say the opposite. Okay. I was going to say Soul of Cinder is a really nice idea of it, because he's the culmination of everyone who came before him.
Yeah.
He is the representation of the Link.
Mm.
But he's got so many combos you just can't get out of.
That's true.
And his hitboxes are terrible. He'll just hit you from behind and then put you in a stun lock combo and instantly kill you. It's alright, well, thanks. That wasn't really fair.
Yeah. I feel like honestly, after playing Sekiro, I feel like going and playing Dark Souls again, I would be a lot more frustrated with the way the combat works.
You're slower in Dark Souls, right? In Sekiro, you're quite fast.
You also don't in Dark Souls, you can just get hit. Even if you have a shield and your shield is up, you can just get hit still.
Why would you have a shield?
I don't know, because maybe it's a main part of the game, and shields are a big element of that, and parrying with the shield is a very optimal strategy for doing a lot of damage to the enemies. Yeah, I don't know. It's not that important, honestly.
I can't parry Osiris.
No, I don't think you can.
Actually, you can. He has a staff. Never mind.
Does that mean you can parry him? Then
you can riposte him, which is the thing really. That is, right?
Sorry?
The riposte is for the parry into the stab, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you parry and the sound will play, they'll get stunned, and then you can, stab him in the chest or whatever.
According to the Wikipedia page, he can be riposted if his head is hit enough times.
Okay.
But you have to do it in rapid. So 4 hits within 60 seconds on New Game 3.
Actually, yeah. So I guess that's the same thing. That system, that's the exact same thing in Sekiro, except you can see the meter. You can see how far the meter's got to go to the point where they can get stunned. It's a visible part of the game's mechanics.
I don't think I'd like Sekiro, because I like going against the design philosophy of the game. I'm quite a contrarian like that.
That doesn't seem
Sekiro doesn't allow for that.
No. It does it definitely does its mechanics very well, though. It's a very good...
no doubt it's a very good game.
I don't know. I think you could enjoy it. It's not so... It's not so gothic. Sale, maybe. Yeah.
No, they won't put me off too much. I will play gothic games. Within reason.
Yeah. It
really depends. I'm not going to play some dark, dingy game that's we're vampires who love blood and we're going to the masquerade and, I'm not doing that.
I can't believe it.
This is shots fired at Vampire the Masquerade. I've never played it. Never played a single vampire game, but...
yeah.
Vampire's a tabletop beat.
Oh. I'm not sure I'd like that.
There's a video game version, if you would prefer. But it's very gothic vampire werewolves.
I'd like that if you can actually walk around an environment.
I don't know enough about it.
That's if it is more of a tabletop game, I doubt that's an aspect of it.
If it's a tabletop game, it's highly likely you'll be able to walk around in the city. You have to imagine it a bit more.
Okay, yeah, that's... I can do that without a game there, though.
That's true.
And it's also not going to be as vivid as someone having created an entire environment for you to explore.
I think a lot of tabletop games are sort of hyperboles of things that actually happened in the game.
Yeah.
So you see all the time on Reddit. Yeah, I'm one of the stupid browsers Reddit. Leave me alone. You'll see these things where it's like you have a D&D green text, or you'll have some like D&D meme or a D&D story. D&D is really popular on Reddit. You can imagine. And you'll see some like story about all these things that happened, and I'm like, I'm pretty confident most of that happened, but it's been sort of bigged up for this story. Because D&D at its heart is about telling stories.
Yeah.
But
I thought that was
the
like
gameplay restrictions, you have
thing.
to interpret the events that occurred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example.
Yeah.
Did you see that segue?
It's pretty good.
Really
I feel like addressing the segue is kind of diminishing its effectiveness.
It does. I had to say I was so proud of it.
It was a good segue.
So, in my most recent D&D session, Tim has been complimented.
Fancy now.
Tim may have murdered some people. Don't worry about that.
Everyone has. It's fine.
It's kind of against Tim's moral code, but Tim keeps forgetting about it. When he kills people, they stick with him longer, but eventually they fall by the wayside. His kill count is an unknown quantity.
Oh.
He'll say it's no one.
Okay.
But frankly, we don't know. So, I had to drop out of the session last week. I was there, but I had to go at the end because I was tired and I had some stuff the next day. So I get back in and I find out we found the big stone that we've been looking for the campaign.
Yeah.
The Stone of Galore.
Okay.
I join in. Wardlair, Phil's character, is running with this stone. Like, 50, 60 feet ahead of me. And I'm like, oh, I have no idea what's going on. I'll leave this to Nezin, because I trust Nezin. He's like my boy.
Yeah.
He's dumb as well.
Okay.
It's like, we're almost equals. But we end up on this bigger chase with Wardlair, and Wardlair passes the stone off to some people, and we're now on a big chase. Wardlair's back on his feet after having passed off the stone and going unconscious. Don't worry about that. So we're chasing the stone again. The stone is sentient, by the way. It's sentient and has mind control powers.
Okay.
And it really wants fun.
It just wants to have fun.
Yeah, it wants to have a good time.
Oh.
So we end up doing what the stone wants. We chase down the person who has the stone at that time. A lot of hold person commands that don't work. And there was 3 rogue cabbage carts.
What does that mean?
So as we're running towards them, we had to make a roll to see if something interrupted us while we were in the street. And if you rolled a 5, a cabbage cart would lose its wheel and come crashing towards you. At which point you'd have to make a strength or dex save to...
Cabbage cart. Yeah. It cut off slightly.
Okay.
All I heard was cabbage.
So you would then have to stop the cabbage cart. 3 in a row come barreling down the street at us.
What are the chances?
Really low. And funnily enough, no one got hit by them.
Oh.
Jonathan did smash through a very big plane of glass, though.
Were there just a couple of people carrying a giant, comically large pane of glass?
One. So, he's walking, he's running forward and doesn't see the pane of glass, smashes through it, bloodied hands, runs off.
That's good.
So we end up getting the stone again, and the stone's like, "Hey, you can we can go and grab this loot that I'm guarding. I'll let you in, or you can go and save this mother who's about to be killed by her son.
Yeah,
and stop this necromancer."
Okay.
So we're Tim at very least is well, I gotta stop the mother from dying. It's Tim's whole goal is to stop people from dying.
Yeah.
So Tim. And everyone else, but mainly Tim, even though he's behind,
Okay.
run to the house and save this woman.
Yeah.
The guy choking her takes like 50 damage to stop. We knock him unconscious. No killing allowed around Tim.
Of course.
Tim grabs the woman, runs her out of the house, gets her to safety. As he's running, he hits someone with a Toll the Dead. After he came back, they were dead. Who knows how?
The woman.
No, the guy he hit with Toll the Dead.
Okay.
Couldn't have been Tim.
Does that just mean they die?
They may have died. Not who knows if it was to Toll the Dead. We can't confirm.
Free
But they weren't stabbed, and I was the only one who hit them otherwise.
Okay.
It wasn't him.
Sure, no. Well, he would never kill anyone.
He would never kill anyone.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
He's an innocent soul.
Yeah. So we then deal with a bunch of ruffians who are harassing this house and this woman.
Yeah.
And we go and hire some mercenaries to go and help us take down the necromancer.
Okay.
So we go and take down the necromancer. You can imagine,
Yeah.
It's easy stuff for Tim. He's a cleric.
Yeah.
Just boosh, remove undead. Turn undead. Easy. Well, it turns out there aren't any undead there because we took the mercenaries and dealt with all of the cultists.
Okay.
And then we took down the woman who was going to raise some dead or something instantly.
Okay.
And the stone's like, oh, you did a pretty good job there. It's not
I forgot
yet,
there was
the
stone. I forgot there was the sentient stone.
Oh yeah, the stone sent us there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the mastermind.
Yeah, you would be surprised. So we deal with the cultist and the lady at the top, and there are some snakes. So we kill the snakes as well because they're clearly attacking us. After they stab Wardlair and Goldor. Yeah, that's it, Goldor.
Yeah.
These bad times that were had, Snake's dead. And the stone's like, oh, it's not over. Now you've done the chasing. Now prepare to be chased.
That's ominous.
And this guy, you could hear this cackling from the bottom of the tower that we're in. And he walks up the stairs. He's wearing a thick robe of it's purple, but it's made of skin. It's made of his skin as well.
That sounds gross.
Because he's cloned himself so many times and made so many simulacrums of himself. They couldn't hold it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Forgive me. He made so many simulacrums of himself.
Yeah.
That he's been cursed. And whenever a copy of himself goes within a mile of the other copy of himself, they must fight to the death.
Oh.
And then he turns their skin into coats. Into this coat.
Yeah.
So he walks up the stairs.
Is he the original?
I don't know, and I have a theory. If I'm level 5 next session, I'm going to test it out.
Oh. Okay.
I've got a plan, and I've told my DM about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm going to be level 5 to be allowed to try this. And it's like a Hail Mary. But let's continue the story, and then I'll explain the plan. So, Goldor bolts. Nezin passes the stone to Jonathan, who's outside the building, so that Jonathan can run. Then it's me and Nezin with this terrifying. He's genuinely terrifying. He casts a 9th level spell on a guy. So he instantly kills people, and he's at least a level 17 character.
Yeah.
The equivalent of. He's an NPC, so he can be whatever he wants. But that's the rough power level.
Okay.
So he's like, I want the stone. So Tim picks up a stone and throws it down the stairs. And he's like, I like your intelligence. So Tim has been called intelligent. Tim.
Of all people.
Tim. He's literally the dumbest member of the party. So this guy waltzes up the stairs, grabs Tim by the shoulder, and then feeble minds him.
What does that mean?
So Tim has to make an intelligence saving throw with a DC of 21, because that's this guy's DC pass. Which means I have to roll a d20 and then add my modifiers and get 21. And you may recall, Tim's intelligence modifier is -2. But with the Cloak of Protection, that gets a +1, so it's now -1. So if I roll a d20 and I get a 20, it's a 19.
So there's actually no way.
It's physically impossible for Tim to break out of this feeble mind.
Yeah.
So Tim has 1 intelligence and 1 charisma. He cannot understand language, communicate in any meaningful way, is drooling, can't use magical items, any of it.
What are they good at?
They've only lost their... they can't cast spells either. They've lost their intelligence and their charisma, which means charisma checks they can't pass, intelligence checks they can't pass. And because their cleric can't cast spells, they can't do that. They can't use an ability either. But they can protect their friends, follow their friends, and recognize their friends. So they understand that bit.
That's good.
That's what Tim's doing now.
They're a companion.
Yeah. They're a companion.
Yeah. So all you really need.
So Nezin's like, right, I can't deal with this. Runs, jumps down the fireplace, like down the chimney, into the bottom floor.
Okay.
And obviously because Tim will follow Nezin, Tim does the same.
Yeah. Tim
and Nezin, they get out. Jonathan, he's running away with the stone that the necromancer wants.
Yeah.
Wardley, out of there, and Jacob pulls his gun out
and
tries to shoot him.
Okay.
He deflects it with his staff.
Of course.
So now we're kind of... Well, not we, because Tim is too dumb to be scared.
Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out.
Goldor's quite scared now. And they run back and they make it to the Black Staff. She's going to try and help us, rescue Tim. Well, she can't do it. She doesn't possess the skills.
Oh.
So Tim is a moron. The stone has decided Wardley, the turtle, is his best bet of having... He likes Wardley the most.
Okay.
So he's allowed Wardley to know where the treasure is.
Yeah. The
Grand Vault of Dragon Heist.
Okay.
Now, this is where things get a little bit nuts. Would you like to know what we have to do to open the door of the Dragon Heist? Like the Dragon Heist door?
Sure. Can't be that bad, can it?
A duet must perform Your Beardy Face on the bagpipes in front of the door.
Okay.
Must present the scale of a bronze dragon, a shape changer, and a unicorn. You'll never guess he's proficient on the bagpipes.
Is it you?
It is me.
Oh my god. That does seem like a little bit of
one person required to help me perform.
Do you have anyone else that's like...
No. The only other person who was ever proficient with the bagpipes was Belia, and Belia died saving Ivan and Dina, neither of which survived.
Okay.
So really died trying to save, less actually saving.
Yeah.
But we have a plan.
Okay.
Well, we don't have a plan. A plan has been suggested.
Yeah.
Nezin has suggested that we get Tim a headband of intellect, which will set Tim's intellect to 19 once the feeble mind has been removed.
Okay.
So we might be seeing Professor Tim.
That would be interesting.
The difference is, I've got like a whole plan for this though, because currently Tim is forgetting people he's killed. He's not feeling bad about it too much.
Yeah.
But Professor Tim would never forget.
No. Of course not.
So Professor Tim's going to be feeling worse and worse and worse about killing people, so much so that he takes the headband off and like unattunes from it because he's feeling so like sort of disheartened and weighed down by these losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that one Futurama episode with the hyper intelligent monkey.
I haven't seen this episode of Futurama.
Oh.
Is this homework for next week? I have to go and watch this episode.
No, you have to watch all of Futurama.
Oh, God, that's so much. I tried watching the first season of Futurama before it disappeared off of Amazon Prime, before immediately going back onto Amazon Prime. And it's good, but it's less good than I remember it being.
Yeah, I think the first season is like pretty good. I think most stuff after is not so great.
Controversial statement. I think Futurama is more miss than hit. But I think when it hits, it really hits.
Yeah.
Which I think The Simpsons doesn't. I think The Simpsons, at least in the early seasons, was consistently good. But it never had the highs that Futurama had.
Yeah, Futurama could be had some really good episodes. Like the first maybe first 2 seasons, I think, actually.
We'll find out if I ever watch Futurama for next week. Unlikely.
I mean, you don't have to. Unlike the other requirement for if we ever get
we need 10,000 views on that video. Could you go back
3.
and watch ReConnected episode 3, the 10,000 view bet, if you haven't already? It's on like 6 views right now, so
just
a couple of magnitudes there would be great.
Just 9,994 to go.
Yeah, Matt's in that one as well.
He is.
No,
that's
Josh.
A shame.
Josh.
He won't ever be in another one.
He won't. But here's my last D&D thing for the day.
Yeah.
Here's the Hail Mary.
Okay.
It's unknown whether this guy, whether the original is alive.
Yeah.
And which one's a simulacrum or not.
Yeah.
And simulacrums can be dispelled.
Ah.
And I get Dispel Magic at level 5.
Uh-huh. So you can add...
So...
Oh, okay.
Provided he cannot hear me.
Mm.
He cannot sort of counterspell it. He then has to make this Dispel Magic save, which he needs to roll... Sorry, I need to make the save. I have to roll above a 19.
Yeah.
And if I do that, he gets dispelled. If he's not the original.
Above a 19?
Yeah.
So, wait, what's your modifier with this?
+7.
Okay, so that's pretty good.
Pretty good. It's not a high chance that I pass.
Yeah. It's below...
It's less than 50%.
Yeah.
But if the stars are
not too bad.
and it doesn't get dispelled, it's reasonably doable.
Yeah.
Provided there's not some magic item he has that prevents him from, whatever, right? Because he's like a big bad. So I feel like if I said to my DM, yeah, I'm about to cast a spell magic. And like, if he's the simulacrum, he's about to get completely annihilated.
Yeah. This seems like a decently sized part of this current campaign, so...
Yeah, I feel like, to be fair, from what I've heard, that is optional, fighting him.
Okay.
Because it's so far above your pay grade.
Okay. So it could actually turn out to work.
I think it's highly likely we end up supporting some other people fight him. Because he's, like, really strong compared to us.
Yeah. Honest
to God.
Make sense.
If I was given the chance to, like, dispel this simulacrum and it worked... As like a final, I'm about to die, so I'm going to try this thing.
Yeah,
I'd love for it to work.
That would be good.
It would make a session.
Yeah. When is the next session then?
Next Thursday.
Okay.
So we'll see. I think I'm probably still going to be level 4 for the time being.
Oh.
But if I level up, I get the spell regardless, because it's not an arcane caster, so you don't pick spells. You just pick from a list whatever you want to use that day.
Okay.
Which is nice, because my spell list is uniform.
Yeah.
Because I pretty much always take the same, like, spiritual weapon, cure wounds, you know. I have a standard array because I'm a support at heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I did this entire session on 3 spell slots.
Really?
3 spell slots, 11 health.
11 health.
Yeah, because
the entire thing.
I think there was a misunderstanding, and I didn't want to keep bringing it up in case there wasn't, and I didn't want to be like that guy who was like constantly going on about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when I got there. Has there been a rest between the sessions? And I didn't get a clear answer. I couldn't tell who someone was talking to, so I asked again. I didn't get another answer. So I asked again. I didn't get an answer. So I just thought, I'm going to assume there isn't.
Yeah.
Because just for safety.
Yeah, just...
So I did, and then I found out later there was a rest.
I guess it didn't matter.
It did. I was like, I never used the spell slot because I was like, oh, if this goes bad, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah,
well, I could have cast some AoE spells, or, you know.
But in the
whatever.
end... But in the end...
It didn't matter. I'm just feeble-minded.
Oh, you are currently...
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's pretty bad. I was fully expecting to have to make another character while I get cured.
Oh, really? Oh.
I don't think that's going to be the case. I think I'm going to get rescued.
I hope so.
For like a high price, but I think I'm going to get rescued.
Yeah, it would be good to see the result of the Dispel magic, if that ever gets to comes to play.
So this is what I wanted to say. Like, so I was talking about D&D, like Reddit posts, where it's like, that's the kind of thing that would get posted, and like, part of me believes that it would work, and that's like a genuine thing. But it's so DM dependent and so like story dependent.
Yeah.
But a lot of those times, it's kind of like either you're being given a free win, or this is like maybe a not great way to DM this.
Yeah. Well, it's about just having. That just sounds like it's fun. It's a fun thing to happen because it's like very unlikely. It's like a realistically unlikely way of like taking a thing down, but it's the one shot you have at doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think in that scenario that's like a perfectly valid way to DM it. But I think if like allowing that stuff just like off the cuff is sort of like it will end up long term ruining the story.
Yeah.
Because it makes these Hail Marys way more reasonable to do.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, this is like... So, normal Tim won't do this. Because normal Tim isn't smart enough to do this.
Yeah.
But Professor Tim will do this. I like that this character that doesn't exist yet has been named.
Yeah.
By the party as well.
Oh, so that's like properly already established.
Okay. Yeah, he's the party's already named 19 Intelligence Tim, Professor Tim.
That's good. That sounds like that'll be a fun addition to the campaign.
It'll be fun to be intelligent for once.
Yeah.
I don't really do too many stupid things, but, you know.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play a morbidly depressed, like clinically depressed Tim after he kills people and starts remembering.
Oh no.
Someone modifies Tim's memory and like brings back things he's forgotten. It's just like, oh my god, no.
Oh no.
I'm worse than Nezin.
You find out all the horrible things you've done.
Well, because we were told, because I'd like to continue this through like to the second semester. Because we were told, you know, we're due to like 1 to level 5, and if you want to go further, we can go further. We were told you have to come up with your deepest fear.
Yeah.
And Tim's deepest fear is becoming a killer.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that Tim is already his greatest fear.
Yeah,
he just doesn't know it.
That's a good idea.
I like this episode, which is coming to a close.
Yeah.
Has been The Witcher, Dark Souls, and D&D.
Yeah.
This has been the fantasy episode.
Yeah. Yeah, it really has, hasn't it?
Man, I really wish Matt was here, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he would have been good for the Witcher talk.
I don't think he would. I don't think he's played recently.
He'd have more insight on it than I do.
He would. I mean, hopefully he listens to this and turns up next week. No promises, people. I would.
Yeah.
I would like to know his opinions.
Yeah.
But he's in Niagara Falls or something, so like...
Fucking doxing him.
Yeah, I'm doxing him by saying he went to Niagara Falls. That popular tourist attraction.
Yeah. It's not even like... It was just like a day as well.
It's great, because this comes out like 2 weeks after he went to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Do you know, we already knew he was in Canada. It's like, oh, okay, it's still massive though.
People are going to find out his location now. They're gonna rob him.
Josh, this is going to get 3 views.
Yeah, and those 3 views are going to happen to be the mastermind criminals who live in Canada.
You're right.
Right near Matt.
Well, I guess he's going into witness protection then.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he didn't turn up.
Oh, you're right.
Oh my god, it all makes sense.